Before you prepare any meal, regardless of what it is, you make sure you have all the tools, all your equipment. Make sure you have things that you can sanitize and clean up after yourself. Be prepared for what you're going to be cooking. So have all your dishes, anything that you think you're going to need so you can stay in one workspace. That's the best way to complete that. Make sure if you're going to be using a knife that it's a sharp knife and not a dull knife. You can actually hurt yourself more with a dull knife than a sharp knife. The dull knives have a tendency to bounce off of food, whereas a sharp knife goes directly through them. So you'll have to put more pressure on a dull knife in order to cut something. As a sharp knife, just the weight of the blade will do it. The internal temperatures of meats all vary. It depends on which meat you're referring to. Say you're going to be preparing fish. Fish has to reach an internal temperature of 135 degrees. That's medium. But medium is the preferred temperature for fish. 145 for pork. If you're doing any type of beef, whether it be ground beef or anything like that, 155 is the best internal temperature, safest internal temperature. And any type of poultry is 165. The only thing that differs there is if you're going to be doing steaks, because all steaks vary in temperature. So you can go anywhere from a rare steak from 120 degrees all the way up to a well done that's 165 degrees. So the safe holding temperature for any of those is 141 degrees. The maximum time that it can sit out is 4 hours. That's for anything, 4 hours maximum time. And once it reaches the 4 hour mark, it's got to be discarded. But leftovers are very, very safe because they're already pretty much cooked meats, as long as you refrigerate them, cool them down. But the same thing applies. So if you're doing a liquid or a soup or a sauce or a gravy or something like that, it has to reach a temperature of 165 degrees for 30 seconds, and then it's safe to serve again. But that's the last time you can serve it. You can't do that over and over and over again. As far as meat's concerned, same thing applies. They can be reached to a safe temperature by killing the bacteria, but they're already cooked meat, so they're pretty safe to eat. I think the biggest mistake overall, whether it be in restaurant, at home, or in a hospital setting, is cross-contamination. People are just not aware of how you can cross-contaminate, why you use certain boards for certain things. I know myself at home, I have one specific board. It's yellow colored and it's only for poultry. That's it. And as soon as I use that, it goes away and I sanitize it. Then I use a different board for vegetables, and then I use a different board if I'm doing cooked meats and so on. So you got to keep that one board. If you're going to segregate one for poultry products, make sure that board does not come in contact with anything. And then as soon as you're done, you want to clean and sanitize the area and wash your hands thoroughly, because dirty hands is the biggest thing of cross-contamination.